This is an amazing, wonderful world, a truly remarkable place. It really is worth a visit because there aren't many places where you'll find magical islands surrounded by the clearest, bluest oceans that you will ever see. And if you look past the island with the lollipop red trees, you will see the best place of all, the Isle of Macaroni. There may be lots of fabulous places to live, but there aren't many that are as special as this. The Macaronis that live here spend their time gardening. They love to grow all sorts of weird and wonderful plants. And being so fond of their gardens, the Macaronis didn't want to see them dug up for roads and bridges, so they decided to use flying balloons to get around instead. They are a marvellous way of travelling, and even the youngest Macaronis have great fun using them to visit their friends and for racing around the island. And here, in this cosy cottage, is my favourite Macaroni of all, Sophie. She is a lovely person and is always kind to animals. And this is her best friend, Roy. And nobody could ask for a better friend. Wherever Sophie goes, Roy goes too. And if you ask them, they would tell you that their favourite thing to do in all the world is to fly in their colourful balloon. On this particular day, Sophie thought that the balloon would make a wonderful ship, and she and Roy would sail off in search of adventure. As the balloon gently lifted, Sophie waved to the Macaronis below. "See you later," she cried. "We'll be home for dinner." Suddenly, there was a loud growl. Sophie's eyes widened in fear. "What was that? Was that you, Roy? I don't think that's funny." Roy clung to the side of the basket. His eyes were as big as Sophie's. That definitely wasn't me, he stuttered. Sophie and Roy peered over the side of the basket and hung on for dear life as the thunder and lightning rumbled and roared its way across the sky. A huge gust of wind shook the balloon and pushed it far away from the Isle of Macaroni. Sophie and Roy were very scared and clung to each other for comfort. As fast as the storm had started, it stopped. The land they could see definitely wasn't the Isle of Macaroni. It was very different. It even sounded different, and it definitely smelt different. "We'd better land," said Sophie. "I want to see if anyone can tell us the way home. I'm a bit nervous about being this far away." Roy was worried too. He hated being late for dinner, especially when it was mashed potatoes and carrots. Sophie's balloon gently landed in a clearing, and the two friends looked around at the new island. Everything seemed to move from side to side, even though there was no wind. "All this moving is making me feel a bit sick," said Roy. "And what is that weird noise?" "It is strange, isn't it?" said Sophie. "It's coming from over there. Let's take a look." jungle they saw a clearing. In the clearing was an assortment of the most astonishing-looking individuals, and the racket they were making was deafening. Creatures looked very unhappy. "Hello," shouted Sophie. "Do you need help?" The wise cock owl spread his wings and said, "Who are you? What are you doing here?" "We're lost," said Sophie. "I'm Sophie and this is Roy, and we're from the Isle of Macaroni. A big storm pushed our balloon far away from home. We decided to ask for help, but it looks like you need more help than we do. What on earth is the matter?" "Well," said the wise cock owl, "we're in a bit of a pickle, really. Pablo, the blue bunny, also got lost, so we let him stay with us. He felt different because he didn't look like we do, so he made his own clock and stuck it on his tummy. We thought that he looked very funny, and we all laughed at him. He got so cross and stole the keys that wind us up." "I know it was mean of us to laugh, and we're really sorry, but what do we do about our keys now?" Sophie shook her head. "I think I'll go and talk to Pablo. It was wrong of him to steal the keys, but it was also wrong of the clock people to laugh at him. I'm sure if I explain that the clock people are sorry, he'll give the keys back." Sophie followed the wise clock owl's directions and walked down the path to look for Pablo the bunny. "What do you want?" asked the cross-looking bunny. "I hope you haven't come to laugh at me too." "I wouldn't do that," replied Sophie. "It's not a very nice thing to do. The owl told me that they laughed at you. They are really sorry and they know that they are wrong. Why don't you give them their keys back?" Pablo felt bad that the clock people were feeling unhappy. He had been so cross when they laughed at him. They had made him feel very bad. Nobody likes being laughed at. Sophie and Roy helped Pablo find the right key for each clock. The clock people were delighted to get the keys back, and they quickly wound their clocks until all the hands lined up. Woohoo! Woohoo-hoo! Sophie felt a gentle breeze blow through her hair and she knew that it was time to be going. "I'm glad you're all in time again. I wish we could stay a while, but it's time for us to be going. We must try to find our way home, and if Pablo wants to, we'd like him to come with us." "Would you? Could you? Oh, great! Yay, yay, let's go!" And as it lifted gently into the air, they waved goodbye to the clock people below. Bye! A strong breeze nudged the balloon and pushed it off into the distance. The gentle sound of ticking followed them until the island was too far to see. Sophie, Roy, and their new friend Pablo didn't even notice as they drifted away.
I took a walk